So I thought it'd be a good idea to organize my books, to get organized. I'm gonna put the books that I actually use and need here, and then I'm gonna put all my jazz guitar books that I don't use. Maybe I'll put them in storage because it's getting a little bit ridiculous. I always kind of hesitant to do this because people ask me, "Can you go over all your books?" But I feel like I don't have that many books. But now I actually have quite a few books. So uh, let's see, where should I begin? So I'll just wait a little bit to get started here. Make sure that we're online. So if you can let me know if you hear me, if there's audio and everything. Also, there might be a concert going on outside. So if we're interrupted by a concert, there's some kind of event going on, I might have to end the stream. But I want to start with the Bergonzi books. I always start with the Bergonzi books. Uh, Jerry Bergonzi, that's what it all started for me. These are all great. I have all of them except the last one, volume 7, which I should get. And I recommend getting all of these. Volume 1, Melodic Structures, very, very good book. So I'll put that here because this is a good book that you can always use if you don't know what to practice. Pentatonics, I think, is the most famous one. I'm not going to linger on these books because it's going to take forever. But these are all great. Jazz Lines is about Bob scale. So yeah, if you could let me know that there's audio and everything, that would be good so that I know that you can hear me. This is my favorite one, I think, the one called Melodic Rhythms. This is probably the book that changed my playing the most of any book. If you work with this book, you're going to notice a change in your, not just how you play, but also how you hear rhythms and rhythmic ideas. This is the Bergonzi book that you should not get. This, hey there, how's it going? I don't get this book. Nobody gets this book. It's just a really weird concept. So you don't need this book. I don't know why I have it, but I'll put it there just so I have the Bergonzi books in the same place. Hexatonics. Okay, great. You can hear me. That's great. So those are the Bergonzi books. Those would be, I guess, my favorites. Also, the publishing company, Advanced Music, I think is the best publisher for music books. Everything they release is just top notch. Then we have the Randy Vincent books, Line Games. You can always pick up this book if you practice, if you don't know what to practice. This 3-note voicings and beyond is a must. Like for a serious jazz guitar student, unbelievable book. I don't know too much about Randy Vincent, actually. It's a shame to say. Here you can see my post-its or my markers, so I know where I am. Currently working a little bit from this cellular approach. There might be more books by him, at least one more. So this is another reason why I'm making it. I'm going to watch the stream and take notes remind myself of the books that I need to get, because it's time to get some more books. Okay. Fundamentals of Guitar, Miles Okazaki. Somebody said the other day that it went over his head. I don't know. There's some really advanced stuff in here for sure. But not all of it is esoteric. There's some kind of straightforward stuff too. And I use this in teaching. I could go on about this book forever. I think I made like 3 videos where I mentioned this book at least. It's especially great for understanding polyrhythms. I've never seen any guitar book talk about polyrhythms in such a clear way. So that will go up there. This is Mel Bay Publishing. Oh yeah, so this is Sheer Music. Sheer Music is after Advanced Music, I think, the best publishers. Mel Bay is obviously huge. They publish all sorts of things. Then we have Brett Wilmot's books. There should be another one. I don't know where it is right now, but the complete book of harmonic extensions for guitar. Oh yeah. And then there's this one. Mel Bay's complete book of harmonic theory and voicing by Brett Wilmot. These two pretty heavy. You could spend years working from these books. So you can just pick up any page in this book, and it's a day of practicing for me anyway. So some of these books I've played through them. I'm kind of done with them, so I'm going to put those away. These are the books that I could use as inspiration. Then we have this book, The Chromatic Approach to Jazz Harmony and Melody by David Liebman. It's a very, very famous jazz book and very not controversial, but some people think it's a bunch of nonsense because it gets pretty really advanced. Here's an E flat minor major 7 sharp 5 over A major 7. And yeah, it's a little bit ridiculous, but I think it's very good. It also comes with audio with him, Dave Liebman, talking. So you get like his personal kind of ideas. It's a very heavy book. I don't feel like working I bought it maybe a few years ago, and I just got overwhelmed. So I'll put it here for later. It's a little bit too heavy for me right now. This is another book you can pick up. Just go to any page and you have lifetime of practice. I've made videos about this book. It's also legendary. Nicholas Slominski's Thesaurus of Scales and Melodic Patterns. It can be a little bit uninspiring because it's like just page after page of these patterns, but if you find a way to work with it, it can be really fun. So I'll put that there. Triad Pairs for Jazz by Gary Campbell. I have one more book of his somewhere, so I'll put that to the side for now. Now I'm just showing you the favorite books. The Barry Harris book, Harmonic Method for Guitar. Obviously, I've talked about this a lot. Same thing here. Just pick it up, and you have a practice day. Just any page, really, never ends. Another favorite, the Brazilian guitar book by Nelson Faria, who actually was living here in Sweden for a while, teaching one of the colleges, but he's back in Brazil, and he's got a YouTube channel, which is really good, where like super high quality stuff. So this is by far the best book I've seen on Brazilian guitar, samba, also sheer music. I strongly recommend this book if you're serious about, because as I mentioned in the video that I did on this book, most books, jazz books, they show you how to play like a generic bossa nova pattern, but if you want to dig a little bit deeper, it's not enough. You need to dig a little bit deeper, and then this book could be a good kind of segue or a source of if you want to dive deeper. So there's yeah, it's really good. I made a video about that. Oh, here's the other Gary Campbell book. I have not worked too much from this. Then there's another book of his, which I can't remember, which is really, really expensive if you find it on Amazon. It's like ridiculous expensive. Can't remember what it's called, but this is Expansions and Triad Pairs. But I think I'll put those to the side. I have some Alan Holdsworth books. This one and the other one. What is it? I don't recommend these books, to be honest. They're not that good. It's hard to find good stuff on his. There's probably better stuff online, videos. And there's this guy, Brett Stein, I think, has released I don't know if it's actually just online like a PDF, but it's very expensive. I might get that. Kurt Rosenwinkel, this is not very good. He's also I watched a video just the other day, like a podcast with Kurt, where he just published a book with his compositions that you can order from the record label's website, Hardcore Records, with his own charts and comments and everything. But it's also a very, very expensive book, but I'm definitely going to get that. My goodness, there's so much here. I don't even know. I also have a bunch of classical music, which I'm not really. I'm going to put that in separate. Oh, yeah. Lately, I've been doing the Sid Jacobs stuff, right? So these are the two Sid Jacobs books that I have, plus the Bill Evans book, which I can't find. So I'll put those here. This is probably the most esoteric book that I have. This is very, very hard to find. The Almanac of Guitar Voice Leading. I have the the prequels or the sequels of this. There's a volume 2 and 3, but I have them as PDFs. Not even PDFs. I have them printed out, and very expensive if you can find these. I was lucky to. I think somebody gave this to me. It was $50 in Canada. So these are obviously also kind of dry, but if you find a way to work with it, it can be really fun. Here, oh yeah, here is I have the second volume printed out like this. So it's kind of dry, right? Like it's kind of uninspiring, but it can be a little bit overwhelming, to be honest. But yeah, I'll put those, maybe I'll put this one there. Technique book. Yeah, I don't use this too often. I use it for teaching sometimes. Smooth Jazz Play Along. Yeah, here, you didn't know I had that. I have my play alongs, but I don't use them too often. It's mostly for my videos. This one is really good. There's one more I want to get, turnaround cycle, something like one more like that I want to get. Then the Barry Galbraiths. This one wasn't too exciting, to be honest. I Got Rhythm is one of the better ones. It has a lot of explanations on how you can look at the different changes of rhythm changes. And I'm releasing a video tomorrow, right, where I go over some rhythm changes, variations. And I have the salsa one, which is kind of fun to play along with. Countdown to Giant Steps. And I have minor blues in all keys. So I don't have too many Aebersols, to be honest. This is a good one. Elements of Jazz Language for the Developing Improviser by Jerry Coker. Talks about all these kind of cliches, like the standard lines, like Cry Me a River, and how to use those over chord changes. Yeah, it's a great book. I'm not gonna use. I don't use it anymore, so I'll put it somewhere else. This I made a video on. I don't use it too much, so it's good. Jazz Theory Resources by Bert Ligon, Volume 1. So this is a theory book more than a guitar book. It's not a guitar book. It's a theory book. I might get Volume 2, but I don't use it, so I'll put it somewhere else. This one, definitely a must, I think, for any serious jazz musician. It's very, very good. The very high quality transcriptions, like it's accurate, of a lot of Thelonious Monk tunes. So it's a real book, basically, but it's, you know how the real books are kind of, especially the Monk tunes are pretty terrible. This is very, very accurate, like what he's actually playing. And Thelonious Monk, I think, is one of the most important musicians to study if you want to understand jazz at all. Then he's such a important kind of architect of the style of what we're doing today. So I'll put that here. Ralph Towner is great, but it's more of a classical guitar book. So they were kind of hard to play actually. I haven't, but I should work on that some more. Oh my God. Charlie Parker lines in the style of Charlie Parker, essential jazz lines. This is a good one. There's a whole bunch of these. I think it's Wes Montgomery, and yeah, this is really good actually. I should look into Stevens. Corey Christensen wrote this. I don't know if he wrote only this or the other ones. There isn't a list of. I guess you could go to the website. So yeah, that is something I would get, the other books. So let me know if you can think of books that you think I should get. David Baker's How to Play Bebop. These are good, but I don't play from them anymore, so I'll put those to the side. These are also very, very famous. There's 3 volumes. I only have the first one. I have to say I don't like it. It's too dry. Maybe I should give it another chance, but it's, and also I haven't seen the following, the volume 2 and 3. Apparently, somebody told me that Kurt Rosenwinkel could use these books, and I can see that, but I just don't find them that interesting. Maybe it's me. Maybe I should give it another chance. This was a surprise. Berkeley Press, also very good, obviously, and this was very, very good. And this is on comping, right? It's like, no, this is not on comping. This is on lines. But I think he's got one more book, which goes over chords, if I'm not mistaken. So that's another book I should get. His other book, I think there's one more book by him at least, but I don't use it. So Steve Kahn, a great guitarist and producer. This one goes over pentatonics. He also has another book with chords, and but it seems to be out of print. I can't find it, but I want to get that too. So that's another book I should get. Here I have the Tim Miller Arpeggio Technique Volume 2 Etudes. I made a video on his first book, the 2-1-2 system or whatever it's called, and it's pretty amazing. It's hard to find something that unique. So Tim Miller is a Berkeley teacher, and the way he plays is very, very. He's got like his own thing that nobody else has. And this is his second volume. You can only order it as PDFs from his website, I think. So I did that, and I printed it out and put it in a binder. And I'm working on that at the moment. I'll see if I make a video about that. It's kind of hard to make videos about this kind of stuff because you don't want to, you don't want to trespass on their stuff that they did this. Like I didn't write this, right? So I don't want to make a video where I give away the content of Tim Miller. I want it, Jens Larsen's book, very good. This publisher, I'm not a big fan of. Fundamental Changes, and sometimes the tabs or the notation is really weird. Jazz Solos, Chicoria. So these are books I don't use. Oh, here's another Randy Vincent. Forgot about that one. Jazz Guitar Voicings. That should go there. The Serious Jazz Practice Books. Volume 1 and 2. Somebody recommended these. These are the books that somebody in the comment recommended, and I got them. And they're a little bit uninspiring to work on, but the quality is unbelievable content. But yeah, those I'll definitely put here because I might get back to those. And the T. Jacobs books, yeah, I don't use those. Oh, let's see. What do I have here? These were sent to me by the author, Dan Coasley, the Drop Voicing book. I haven't had time to look at them too much. Jazz Guitar Genius, Seventh Chord Arpeggios. This one, it seems really interesting. So this is, I'm going to start working on this. The Art of Canon for solo guitar. So this is how to play solo guitar, like kind of classical guitar. Yeah, this looks very interesting. I don't know why I haven't looked up that, so I'll put that there. These are the books that I might, pick up tomorrow when I'm practicing. So that doesn't mean that I put books somewhere else that that they're not good. It's just that I'm not using them. I'm done with the books or something. Art of Two-Line Improvisation by Jimmy Weibel, but edited and recorded by David Oakes, who was my teacher at Musicians Institute. Musicians Institute in Los Angeles also have really high quality books. I don't know. I have a few of those, but this is by Mel Bay. But this is just a bunch of Jimmy Weibel's arrangements. Really hard to play. So Jimmy Weibel, of course, is a kind of unknown behind-the-scenes kind of guitar player who is Los Angeles-based, which also came up with his own thing that I don't know anybody else that does. It's kind of hard. These are very hard to play, I would say. Speaking of books that you could spend a whole lifetime with, any book by Mick Goodrick. Here he is again, Tim Miller. Let's just talk about him. So him and Mick Goodrick wrote this book, which is also kind of famous. This is Berkeley Press again. Again, it's a little bit uninspiring, but if you find a way to work with this, it can be really fun. Here we have the Wayne Kranz book that I talked about a few weeks ago, or maybe months even. Yeah, I went to GIT in 1990. So I studied with, when I was there, Scott Henderson was like my guru. And who else was there? Don Mock, Dan Gilbert, Alan Hines, Joe DiOrio was there. My favorites were Scott Henderson and Peter Sprague. Peter Sprague, I have his book here somewhere. Peter Sprague was like a huge influence on me. This one I might not, it's a little bit funny, but I'll put it maybe there. Oh yeah, of course, the Cole Porter I'm working on right now. Cole Porter Play Along. It's definitely the book goes on the music stand, actually. Mike Stern book is great, but I'll put it, I'm not using it. Bebop Licks for Guitar is also pretty good, but I'm not using it. Intro to Polyrhythms by Ari Honig's drum book, but talks about polyrhythmic playing. Classical Super Chops. Speaking of MI, this was a class at MI when I was there, but I'm not using that book. Oh yeah, so these books are pretty dusty. The Hal Crook How to Comp is the book that I wanted, but I got this. This is some appendix for another book, so I have no use for this. There's something. It's just like a bunch of backing tracks, but I can't find the Hal Crook How to Comp. See, I don't know if it's out of print, but that's a book I want to get. Do you have recommended rhythm books? Yeah. Where are those? Sorry, it's a little bit. That's why I'm trying to get organized here. But I have talked about a rhythm guitar book, which I can't find right now. It should be here. I can't find it. I just saw it. Oh, here it is. Yeah, it's weird that there aren't that many books on comping for guitar. Everything is about line playing, right? That's the joke. Guitar player practices. If if you're lucky, a guitar player would practice comping 5 minutes or 5% of the time and 95% soloing. But if you're playing, you're soloing 5% or not at all, and you're comping, but you never practice comping. So yeah, it should be there should be more books. Okay, cool. Forward Motion, yeah, I've heard about that book. Yeah, that's great. I'll look into that. Yeah, you can use other books. There are also books by Sheer Publishing, like Afro-Cuban rhythm section, which it's good to study. Excuse me, because if you understand the Afro-Cuban rhythmic patterns, this one actually is there's a comping in that style, like piano, Montuno supplied, and contemporary Latin jazz guitar talks about comping too, but in a specific genre. But these are very good. It's also sheer music. But this one was really good. He also has a line playing book that I should get. So as I said, I'm gonna rewatch this and just make a list of all the books that I need to get. So I appreciate the tips. This, of course, is one of the best books. Yeah, it's a little bit dry and the information is kind of dry, but really, like again, there's a kind of book where you can just go to any page and practice a whole day. The Frank Gambale books are good. This one was really for me, or this one, when I was starting out learning the modes and all that. When I was really young, that's how I learned about the modes and our like superimposed arpeggios and pentatonics. That you can play a pentatonic over a different chord, that kind of stuff. I got that from Frank Gambale. I also had some of his DVDs. He was selling DVDs back in the day, but I wouldn't use these books now, so they will go into storage, I guess. Okay. Now I'm getting, there's a classical music. What else should I mention? I think that's it's pretty much it. I just don't want to forget something here. Oh yeah, there's a Ralph Towner has a method book for improvisation in his style, but I can't find also out of print. So these are PDFs, but I'm kind of losing the pages. Very, very different from anything else I've seen. So that's a book I would love to get, but it seems to be out of print. I'm just gonna take a look here so I'm not forgetting. This is a funny one. Yeah, this I don't recommend, but it's he looks. That's when he had that look. Gotta love it. Yeah, I don't use, but any book by him is good. Like it's really quality content, but I don't use that kind of stuff now. Yeah, of course, the Joe Pass book. There's also like a Joe Pass omnibook. There used to be only the Charlie Parker omnibook back in the day, which I never liked. But apparently now there's like Oscar Peterson omnibook and John Coltrane omnibook. So those are also something I should get. Oh, here's the Peter Sprague book that was talking. Peter Sprague was teaching at GIT when I was there. He's a guitar player from San Diego who deserves more recognition. He's still playing a lot in that area, I think. And he is just the most unbelievable guitar player. He plays nylon string a lot. That's why I got into the nylon string and playing with my Godin. He doesn't play the Godins, but I don't think those were around back then. And also like there's a lot of Brazilian stuff. So if you haven't checked out Peter Sprague, just go to YouTube and look up his playing. It's ridiculous. Okay, so that was that. That was hopefully I'll get a little bit more organized over here. So I'll find the books when I need them. So again, comment in the comment section if you can think of books that you want me to get, and I'll look into it. Which non-instructional book has most inspired you as a guitarist? That would be Inner Game of Music. I was reading that when I was in high school to deal with kind of improvisation, like flow and stuff, not being nervous and stuff like that, and creativity, and also what's his name, Kenny Werner, the book Effortless Mastery, which are I should make videos about those books. And so Inner Game of Music, which is kind of a spin on the book Inner Game of Tennis, which was a huge bestseller in the 80s. So this bass player wrote a version based on the same idea for musicians, how to kind of overcome mental blocks and stuff like that when improvising and playing music in general. It's for classical musicians. And then Kenny Werner's book is more about improvising without kind of judging your playing and that kind of stuff. It's sounds esoteric, but it's very kind of useful, like even exercises that you can actually use on gigs and when you're playing. So yeah. All right, I'm gonna end it there. Thanks for watching, and yeah, I'll have a new video tomorrow. See ya.